to do that on here, so I won't do that. So I'm going to rely a lot on that. And last one is I want to go to YouTube. I thought I had all this set up before. Yeah, I can't wait to do this. I think this is going to be very fun, very interesting stuff here. My baby is screaming at me. Or he's screaming at somebody. I don't know if he's screaming at me so much, but definitely upset about something. But when that baby gets in those moods, there ain't much you can do. All right, so we'll keep monetization off. We'll go back here and we will set up my camera. I want to share my screen. We're going to share Amazon Prime. There we go. All right, here we go. Hold on, wrong screen. There we go. All right, so wait a minute.
And explaining. And as always, there's nothing off limits. Talking about anxiety and depression.
If I'm not laughing, I promise you I would be crying.
Grief looks different in every single person. I wake up 3 days later, I had a drug overdose.
I got a daughter, so my whole approach to women changes.
People get really confused about what they really.
Okay, so nobody has the visuals. That's fine. It blocks it on YouTube. They got some real advanced technology here. So we're gonna skip the intro, and yeah. So I wanted to talk about this because, like I said, I think this is the name of the show is up there is Counsel Culture. TikTok will flag me if I had to think. I don't think they're gonna flag the audio. Yeah, but I think they would flag the video. I could see that. But we're gonna be talking and stuff like that all over it anyway. So what are they gonna do? But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start this video right now. It's basically they're gonna be talking about toxic masculinity. I'm going to be obviously pausing it and stopping it in between and giving my thoughts. Definitely, if you guys got something you want to say, ban the Cash App, put the questions up there or whatever, the comments. Same thing for the super chats. You guys got something to say, definitely do that. At the end, I will be bringing people up and we'll discuss it for sure. The episode's only 30 minutes, so we got to make it easy for everybody. All right.
Extreme forms of masculine traits are linked to aggression, misogyny, and negative health outcomes. We're going to unpack all of that. But first, allow me to introduce our councilman.
Just
relationship.
Just right off the rip, like when I saw who was on the panel, I was like, this is the panel from hell. This is the panel from hell. Wait till y'all hear who's on this panel.
Therapist and life coach, our brother, you know him, you love him, Dr. Ish Major.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
New York Times bestselling author and psychotherapist, the one and only Dr. Mike Dow. Fist bump.
Mike Dow doesn't shake hands.
And here, this is truly my friend, my brother, and I'm such a fan as all of us are.
Yeah.
Man, if I have to list this man's credits and what he could do, we'd be here all day. But entertainer, Grammy Award winning, multi-Grammy Award winning, superstar extraordinaire, Neo. I love it. And from one super talented man to another, this man does it all. Impressions, has a brilliant mind, one of the hottest stand-up comics out in the game right now. And of course, the In Godfrey We Trust podcast is booming everywhere. Funny man, actor, comedian, Godfrey.
Thank you.
So they got Nick Cannon, Godfrey, and Neo. Nick Cannon, Godfrey, and Neo. Just right off the bat, I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching this shit. I'm watching this. I don't like Godfrey. Godfrey's a weirdo. Godfrey has it's crazy. Bison Tanaka. No, I'm not a homosexual. Yeah, this is crazy. Let's get into it. It's gonna be fun.
Councilman. It's funny though, man, because I'm pretty sure, especially as comics, we have all experienced being accused of toxic masculinity. Yeah. And so at least I feel like this is a brave space, a safe place to discuss it, to understand it. And I know I'm not alone sitting here.
Right off the bat, he's like trying to like downplay the fact that they have all been accused of being toxic, of being toxic at some point in time. And he's trying to like right off the rip, like, we've all been accused of it. No, nigga, you don't get to tell people you're not being toxic. So just like it's just little stuff like that. Just the whole episode, you will see it's just like a bunch of little stuff like that. You're like, that's weird. Exactly. Right off the rip, he's being defensive. Like right off the rip, we've been accused of being toxic, not owning it, not saying, yeah, there's been like as if this is the first time you guys are talking about this clearly. You've never really had this conversation in depth. What would make you think you have never been toxic before? What would make, you know what I mean? Like, what would make you think that? Why wouldn't your natural assumption be, yeah, I probably have been toxic before, right? Like, it's just, oh my God.
On our panel, but even, close friends in the entertainment industry hear this term and have the same questions about it. Right. What is toxic masculinity? Docs, experts?
Right. So toxic masculinity is this hyper-aggressive form of masculinity that says, I want to dominate you, I want to control you, and I want to make you like me.
So just regular masculinity? Hold on, Doc. Go back, Doc. Hold on, wait. This just sound like regular masculinity, right?
Hyper-aggressive form of masculinity that says, I want to dominate you, I want to control you, and I want to make you like me. Toxic masculinity
has masculinity.
No room for anybody who doesn't look like me, love like me, think like me, right?
So masculinity. All this sounds like masculinity thus far.
We want to control and dominate and make everything the same, right? And it's aggressive. It can come out in forms of sexual aggression, verbal aggression, physical aggression, right?
I think there's a lot of context because as you said, if that part of you protected you at a point, it also can hurt you. I'll never forget when I was doing group therapy with gang members who are adolescents. Mm-hmm. I had to help them identify their feelings because in their culture, it was not okay to say, I'm sad, right? It was always angry or bad, right? So you can kind of see that sometimes that extremism, if you're a man, you've got to be masculine 100% all the time, how that can actually hurt a lot of people.
I remember toxic masculinity about years ago. My ex-girlfriend was like, you have toxic masculinity, and made me read a book called Why Does He Do That?
Oh,
it was about a man who counseled.
And this is really important. When people be talking about, you need to read, you need to go to therapy. This is what I was saying before. You can read all you want, and you can go to you can log thousands of hours of therapy and still end up being a piece of shit. If you're not interested in changing and growing, you will just take what you've learned and learn how to manipulate people better. To me, that's what I get from it. And Godfrey seems like that type.
masculinity and made me read a book called Why Does He Do That?
Oh.
It was about a man who counseled abusive men, because it's really hard to counsel abusive men because they will go into the thing and go, "No, I ain't doing this." They would leave. They would like, I don't want to hear this shit. So I had to read it, and I was like, I don't read this. and my thing is toxic masculinity.
So he did the same thing that the abusers did when the abusers were at the meetings, right? He just did the same exact thing that they did when he read the book. I don't want to read it. He just did the same thing they did. That's what I'm saying. So it didn't help him? I don't think he read the book, by the way. I think he started to read it and then stopped reading it, because that was as far as he got, was I read this book. But did you really read it? Sounds like you chucked it across the room, because he did like this. I don't want to read this stuff. Sounds like he chucked it.
There's so many levels to it, because I've never laid my hand on a woman. I've never raised my hand to a woman. My father never raised his voice to my mother or raised his hand to I couldn't even say shut up to my sister. Right. So I was around a good example of non-male toxicity, but I just think it's a little bit too much, because you
don't cheat, don't beat, got a job. You're not toxic. What did he just say? I've never hit a woman. My father never raised his voice at my mom. I couldn't even call my sister a stupid B word. So I'm not toxic. I never grew up in a toxic environment. But did your daddy, did your mama cook and clean and slave and do and stay with y'all all day long, and your daddy was out drinking? Or was your daddy at home chilling in his man cave, not doing nothing, not helping? That's also toxic masculinity. Was your dad gaslighting your mom? Was your dad like? All these are toxic. If you painted your fingernails and your dad said, "Hey, don't do that, son," toxic man. It don't got to yell at you. It don't got to beat you.
Should be I'm an alpha male. I'm alpha, but that doesn't mean I'm toxic.
It does.
Having daughters, I tell my son
example of non-male toxicity, but I just think it's a little bit too much, because you should be I'm an alpha male. I'm alpha, but that doesn't mean I'm toxic.
Having daughters.
The doctor nodded. The doctor said, "No, nigga, you're supposed to say actually, actually it does, but never mind."
Daughters, I tell my sons to protect your little sister, or protect even your big sister. I tell them, you never hit girls, but you should never hit anyone. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if my daughter can hit whoever, all of her, like, it just doesn't matter. And, but it's like, it's something because of society. Right. And is it wrong?
Did he say that he tells his sons that they can't hit her, but she can hit all of them? Is that what I heard? I'm not against the not hitting the women part, but Nick, what? He don't spend no time with these babies, though. Y'all gotta keep in mind, Nick Cannon not really a father.
Like, if my daughter can hit whoever, all of her, like, it just doesn't matter. And, but it's like, it's something your little sister, or protect even your big sister. I tell them, you never hit girls, but you should never hit anyone. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if my daughter can hit whoever, all of her, like, it just doesn't matter. And, but it's like, it's something because of society. Right. And is it wrong to say, men, we are protectors and providers. Women, you are nurturers and caregivers. Right. Is that toxic?
So it's
yeah. Yes, that's toxic. God damn, man. Damn, I wish I was on this show. We would have never got through this episode. I'd have been shutting all this shit down.
It's not toxic because that masculine energy wants to protect. It wants to provide. That's part of its purpose. It becomes toxic if the assumption is, I need to protect you because you can't protect yourself, right?
Benevolent
so
sexism.
Room, if you're going to get in a relationship with a man, you're never going to stay with a guy who you don't feel safe with.
That's right.
We've got to be aware of where the line is, right? And that's the new conversation.
That's just science, though. Science, we're stronger than women. That's just science. And that's natural. But I was told to take out
physically. Most men.
I think
that language is important, right? Because I think if you say men are stronger, men are bigger, I would say most men are stronger than most, right?
But we know that.
But that
I think people should already know that. I know there's some women that are stronger than men, but let's keep it real.
As the gay Asian male up here.
Not the doctor not understanding context clues. Not the doctor going, not all sounding like these dum-dums on the app. Y'all telling me this don't sound like TikTok? They are having a TikTok. These are with it's 2 doctors on this stage. The doctors are even not like, this is crazy. The doctors are terrible.
It was hard because, man, my father passed away before I came out to him, and he would say things like very chauvinistic and homophobic too, right? Just like when I moved to LA, watch out for the homosexuals in his accent, right?
Right here, Dad. That's immigrant-y, though. You watch out, Dad.
But why I feel safe up here, and this is what I would say. Toxic masculinity is often a fragile male ego, and the 4 of you have never made me feel like you have this fragile ego and you're gonna like judge me or hate me, right?
Right.
And if you can be soft in that way and acknowledge that we all have a yin and a yang energy, right? A little bit of in us in certain areas where we're a little bit more feminine. I also hate when people confuse sexual orientation with gender and sex, right? Like if I'm a gay man, then therefore I am this feminine. And if you're a cis straight male, you have to be over here on the other end of the spectrum. And it is a spectrum, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
From 0 to 100.
That's so true. And Neil, I got a question for you. Some of the songs that you write, right? They're about love, right?
Absolutely.
And romance. But they help me feel very masculine when I listen to them, right? They're not, right? They're soft, but they're also strong.
I write from a perspective of a person that's not a.
Have you guys noticed that none of these men have actually identified what masculinity looks like? So when he says that, when the doctor says that it makes him feel masculine, what the fuck does he mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? This is on TV. They have like 9 episodes of this. Like I've watched 3 of them. They're all pretty much the same. Talking about different stuff, but all pretty much like this bad.
Afraid or ashamed of emotion. Because that's the house that I grew up in. Come on, somebody. I grew up in a house full of women. My mother, my sister, my grandmother, 5 aunts, and me till I was 16.
Wow. We can tell, Neo.
Right? So the things you learn in that household, you learn how to listen. You learn the strength of a woman, and you learn that emotion is not a bad thing. My mother says, if it feels good, smile. If it hurts, cry, and never be ashamed of either one, because God gave them to you for a reason. Whereas, I had uncles who were, I guess in today's terms, you would call them toxic. You would call it toxic masculinity because they were very much, a guy's guy. Like, quit crying, cream puff. It was very much from my uncles. So I've been asked the question, like, how do you write from the mind state of a woman? And it's like,
we know how you do it, Neo.
Much, a guy's guy. Like, quit crying, cream puff. It was very much from my uncles. So I've been asked the question, like, how do you write from the mind state of a woman? And it's like, I'm not writing from the mindset of a woman. I can't. I'm not a woman. I can write from the mindset of a person that accepts and acknowledges them.
Neo is proof that there is no such thing as a woman or a man or whatever, because like he's saying, I'm not writing from the mind of a woman. He's saying he's writing from his own mind. He's saying he's writing from his own mind. It's just how he feels. He's not putting himself in this is not from a woman's perspective. This is from Neo's perspective. When he wrote to the left, that was from his perspective. That's how he felt.
The mind state of a woman. And it's like, I'm not writing from the mindset of a woman. I can't. I'm not a woman. I can write from the mindset of a person that accepts and acknowledges emotion as opposed to shying away from it. And those are the songs that I write.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with loving somebody. It's nothing wrong with shedding a tear. Like, that's a release. You will explode if you don't. Like, that's a real thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. And that's the house I grew up in. So that's where the songs come from.
Man, that's awesome. And I think, Dr. Dale, you tapped into something that I feel like we should, at least even for the discussion, kind of offer up to where when discussing or even talking about masculine and feminine, it sounds like it's one side or the other, but there's a...
we got Og Jimmy saying homophobic stuff. Og Jimmy, you were in prison. You were in prison for many years. You were incarcerated for many years. Now, I don't you were in prison, locked up with men for many years. Let's keep it a bean, sir. I've been free my whole life. I've been in handcuffs once or twice. I ain't never been booked. I ain't never been fingerprinted. I never had my photo taken. You were in prison for many years, right? You think I forgot? I ain't forgot. Be careful. Don't tell a lie about me, and I won't tell the truth about you. Okay? Don't tell a lie about me, and I won't tell the truth about you. I promise y'all that.
Balance. We're speaking about energy is what we're talking about. It's like the balance of, I think we all have masculine energy and we all have feminine energy, and it's a balance. So I feel like because growing up in the house with, you know, a lot of women, I was in touch with my feminine energy more, and it assisted me in my masculinity because it was more about understanding and communicating.
Listening. So the toxicity comes from the fear, right? The fear that who I am, I may not be man enough. My story is like you guys, 5 sisters, 8 aunts, right? House full of women. So the fear is, okay, am I man enough? Is my voice deep enough? Are my muscles big? And so the fear makes me overcompensate, right?
That's what you heathens was thinking about being raised around women. Y'all seeing if your voice was deep enough. This doctor is trash. Like, what? What are you talking about, bro? You was worried about how deep your voice was? Diabolical. Your mama was supposed to tell you was good, bro. Damn.
So now, if you don't look like me, think like me, love like me, I'm so insecure in who I am, I need to dominate and control this situation so you can help me feel better, right? That's where the toxicity comes from.
That's just regular masculinity. He's describing regular masculinity. That's not toxic masculinity. This is why I say all masculinity is toxic, because he hasn't defined what regular masculinity is. All they said was provide and protect. The doctor said, oh, the provide and protect is a part of masculine. That's all they got. Say something else.
Never about what I think of you. It's about who you are and how you make me feel about me. And that's when I got to get
let's take it back.
Right?
Let's take it back.
Now,
this was kind of a bar. He ate a little bit.
Love like me. I'm so
he ate with this one a little bit. He ate with this one a little bit.
And so the fear makes me overcompensate, right? So now, if you don't look like me, think like me, love like me, I'm so insecure in who I am, I need to dominate and control this situation so you can help me feel better, right? That's where the toxicity comes from. Toxicity is never about what I think of you. It's about who you are and how you make me feel about me. And that's when I got to get toxic.
One of my personal friends, Mano, yeah, all the way from Brooklyn, had something to say. Check it out over there.
Hey, what's up? It's Mano and Councilman. I got a serious question. I come from the streets. I've been in prison before, and I'm just hammering about this toxic masculinity. I'm not quite sure what it is. Please let me know what it is. I'm trying to find out because I want to know if I have some of that.
You got it. Mano, you got it. Mano, you got it. You ain't got to wonder. Hold on. We don't need Mano. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you, brother. I've been fucking with Mano for about 15, 20 years. Mano, you got that shit, bro. You got the Rona. You got toxic masculinity. You been bit. Okay? Radioactive masculinity. Your shit is crazy, bro. You motherfucking Spider-Man at this point.
Very sincere, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of cats in the streets who've been through a lot in life, and their masculinity is their armor. And then now you feel like the thing that has been protecting me all my life, now I'm getting called toxic for it.
Because you toxic.
We're all products of our environment, right? And it is because of this fact I could never put my hands on a woman. There's a point in there where...
Why is their only idea of abuse physically harming a woman? Why do their minds instantly go to violence? Talk about the narcissism. Can we talk about the narcissism, please?
Your own mental strength has to come into play because from that situation you're gonna become one of two things. You know what I mean? So you'll become this toxic male, or you'll become the exact opposite of.
Man, there's so much to unpack
here.
That is not true. I know the comments and Twitter is going to be on fire because of it. Because again, we're just trying to learn, we're trying to grow, and we're going to continue to unpack this. When we come back, we're going to meet a man that goes by the name of the Angry Therapist, Mr. John Kim, and he's going to help us out here on Counsel Culture.
If these boys say one more time, I have never laid my hand on a woman. Who you trying to convince? Me or you? I wasn't even thinking that. You keep saying it. Y'all keep talking about laying your hands on women. You keep saying, I'm not even thinking. When I think of abuse, I don't even think physical abuse. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not even, I got so many layers before I get to physical abuse. I'm like, you know, I know most men aren't physically abusing their women. You know what I'm saying? But everything before that, oh my God. Everything short of physical abuse, yeah. Yeah, we doing that. We fall somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Hey, this is what I was talking about yesterday. That's why these boys want a cookie for I never lay my hands on a woman. Cool, bro. Huh? What y'all telling them here? Huh? Take this cookie. Financial abuse, emotional abuse, neglect.
It's about counseling. And this is a subject matter that we all need some counseling on. Sure. The fact that we're sitting here as a table of men.
Here, damn.
But really sharing our feelings, willing to learn, willing to understand. And I believe is a healthy sense of masculinity. Absolutely. I don't believe any of the individuals here should be labeled as toxic, but we have all probably
why not?
To speak for myself, no, I've definitely expressed some toxic energy just from whether it's my upbringing or my environment, and I'm willing and eager to heal. Yes. So to discuss this topic more in depth, I want to introduce the man known as the Angry Therapist, and also the author of "It's Not Me, It's You." Break the blame cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Kim. My brother.
Yes. I want to applaud you guys just for having the courage to get together and have this conversation. And I got to say this real quick. Speaking of toxic masculinity, that book was written by my partner as well, Vanessa Bennett. Let me just throw that in there. So I don't take all the credit.
Yeah.
Encouraged to get together and have this conversation.
The doctor clocked him.
Please welcome John Kim.
The doctor clocked him in real time. Watch.
My brother.
Yes. I want to applaud you guys just for having the courage to get together and have this conversation. And I got to say this real quick. Speaking of toxic masculinity, that book was written by my partner as well, Vanessa Bennett. Let me just throw that in there. So I don't take all the credit.
Yeah. I think it's really, and maybe you can help me with this because it is a difficult thing to discuss. And even in a room with majority of women, and we're really please help us.
Hey, so that was funny. And number two, right now, what Nick Cannon said is they're in a room full of women, right? Because what men want to come and listen to other men unpack their shit? So is Nick Cannon, are they pandering to women? I'm not getting that they're pandering to women. They say if they pander, they're doing a terrible job. But only women are interested, like very few men are interested in this work. Very few men are. There's only so many. If you put out a call or whatever you want to say for hey, we're having a show, and you give the description of the show, and it's like this, men ain't showing up for this. Men are not showing up for this. 20v1, men showing up for. Red balloon pop, men showing up for. Unpacking your misogyny, men not showing up for that. So you end up in front of an audience full of women, and then the men who didn't show up go, "Oh, you pandering to women." Nigga, get in here then. What the what the fuck? If you came in, it would be a room full of men and women. Because we both need to hear the shit, right?
Because we don't even in introducing your book, you want to make sure you give credit. You want to talk, right. And then you don't want to overdo it to where it doesn't seem sincere, genuine. But I think if we all just,
what does that look like, Nick? How do you overdo giving people their credit? These are questions they should have been asking him in real time, but nobody pressed him on this stupid shit. That's why the show was weak.
Come from it from a place of compassion. Like
I want to start with challenging the definition. I think that toxic masculinity isn't inherent to masculinity or men, but it is a societal construct. It's a blueprint passed down from leaders, and that leader can be the president or your grandfather, mostly men, wounded men that have defined gender roles, right? So boys passed down from toxic masculinity isn't inherent to masculinity or men, but it is a societal construct. It's a blueprint passed down from leaders, and that leader can be the president or your grandfather, mostly men, wounded men that have defined gender roles, right? So boys.
So what do we say all the time? All of this shit is it's from the top down. It's from the top down. It doesn't start with us. It starts from the top down. So the most powerful men are the most, you know what I mean? Like they're the most misogynist. You know what I mean? Like they're then they made the society, they shaped the society in such a way, and then they passed it down to us. This is what the doctor is saying. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is all the things that these dudes are saying. We've said this shit, and I've heard this shit in these lives every single day for the last 2 years, damn near. Every single thing they've said, it articulated 10 times better.
He's play with trucks, women wear dresses, and so it's this kind
pink and blue. I got on pink right now. Love my pink. It's my favorite color.
And it's buying into these old blueprints that have been passed down that now we're finally kind of ripping down and questioning. It's buying into that then gets us to react instead of respond. The term toxic masculinity, I don't like it because there's judgment and labels already in that term, right? And now men are bad.
Generations ago, it was World War I, World War II. You know,
the men went to war.
Korea, Vietnam. As a teenager, by the time you hit 16, you were off to war to fight and to kill.
And that masculinity.
You needed toxic masculinity to survive.
Look at him justifying it. Look at him justifying it. Look at him justifying it. Ignoring the fact that we never should have been in the war, right? Lady, I appreciate you. She said, all abusive, all are abusive. Panel of liars, cheaters, and gaslighters. Exactly. The whole panel is abusive. This is a wild ass panel.
You wanted that then. Yeah. So I grew up in the 80s, and I grew up in a house where, dad ordering mom around to get him a glass of water. The Asian culture, Koreans, the women being very submissive. Also, a lot of hitting children. I was breakdancing. Dad came home throwing books at me, saying that I didn't come to America for you to be spinning on your head, that kind of stuff. So
it sounds like that's so immigrant.
Yeah, very immigrant. And then, from there, locker rooms. At 12, I was looking at pornography, right? When it was on paper. When you had to know somebody.
The good old days. Yeah. The good old days when you use your imagination.
Right. And what's that? It's a lot of men being aggressive, dominant. It's not real. It's not intimacy. Yeah. And then, of course, you're in your 20s. And the reason why I was angry was because I was unhappy and I was reactive and I was very toxic. But that came from, my story.
For the longest, my oldest son's nickname was Tough Guy. Like everybody called him Tough Guy, or because he was a tough kid, and we loved that. We embraced it.
He had to be tough because you wasn't there, Nick.
So much so that was his nickname.
Wait, he talking about Mariah Carey's son? Wait, hold on. He said his oldest son, right? That's the only one he know. That's the only one he remember. Actually, that's why he mentioned him. Then nobody called that boy Tough Guy. Shut up.
And I was reactive and I was very toxic. But that came from, my story.
For the longest, my oldest son's nickname was Tough Guy. Like everybody called him Tough Guy, or, because he was a tough kid. And we loved that. We embraced it. So much so that was his nickname. Yeah. So it's.
You talking about Mariah Carey's son? That's the son, right? Mariah Carey, when she heard that shit, she went.
I I don't have a problem with, you know, my sons being tough and my daughters being loving and nurturing.
What would be the difference if you told your son not man up, but if you told him the truth about what you wanted, warrior up? Because we got female warriors too,
Facts.
right? Who are every bit as fierce, if not more, than the male. So maybe a part of the problem is we just need to, right? We need the verbiage.
So really, is it about, you know, right? the lexicon and verbiage?
Yeah, a lot of it is.
I mean, he's a master at it. I mean, when songwriting and
I mean, words have power.
Yeah,
words have absolute power. And yeah, the way that you say it, your delivery of, and the words that you use, they count. They count. But at the same time, I don't think that there's anything wrong with making sure that your kids are strong enough to deal with what they're going to have to deal with in society later on. I don't think.
So Neo is saying it's okay to be your kids' first bullies because later on you want them to be tough because that's how you toughen them up.
Making sure that your daughter is strong enough. I don't think there's anything wrong with making sure that your daughter is soft enough. Right. You know, I think that it's a parent's goal to make sure that you're raising level and whole human children. You know, I have 5 sons. 2 are a little more artistic, and then 2 are a little more gruff. I don't fault either one of them for who they are. I just make sure with SJ, I push a little bit more of the tough on him because he needs it. And then with Roman, I push a little bit more the soft on him because he needs it. I let my sons cry. I let them cry. Now, depending on what they're crying about, it's the conversation that happens after the crying.
He wants another cookie, y'all. Huh? Here, damn, Neo. You let your son cry. Here, man. The amount of cookies these niggas be wanting. The amount of cookies these dudes be asking for is crazy.
A little bit more to soft on him because he needs it. I let my sons cry. I let them cry. Now, depending on what they're crying about, it's the conversation that happens after the crying. It's after, you're crying about a toy. You're crying about something that doesn't really
insignificant.
Yeah, it doesn't really validate crying. Yeah. Then I try to instill in them that there are some things that your tears are going to be.
Hey, this is just proof that about 80% of men shouldn't be parents. I'm just gonna say it. 80% of me. None of these dudes strike me as the type that should have kids. Not one of them.
Necessary for this. Not everything. You know what I mean? It's about not letting them feel like it's wrong to cry. But I'm never in a space where I'm like, oh, don't cry. No, you ain't supposed to cry. I'm never doing that because that's how you create potential toxic masculinity. It's like no, I'm not teaching them to run away from or be afraid of their emotions. Every emotion that you have in your human repertoire is there for a reason.
Name another emotion quick.
At the end of the day, the definition.
Neo, name another emotion quick besides sadness and anger, because them the only two y'all been saying this whole time.
Or be afraid of their emotions. Every emotion that you have in your human repertoire is there for a reason. I feel like at the end of the day, the definition between masculine toxicity and just masculine is like the difference between conceited and confident. Conceited means I'm better than you. Right. Confident means I'm just proud of who I am. So masculinity means I'm just
who I am.
Yeah, that's who I am. Right. Toxic masculinity is I'm tougher than you. I gotta be tougher than you. I gotta be this.
It's a competition.
Yeah, it's a competition based type of thing.
Because when the lights go out and I'm laying in bed at night, what I really think is I'm not as good as you. That's where it comes from.
Because our ego is only protecting our insecurities.
Yes. Indeed, right. Indeed.
Can we talk about that for a second too, though? Because I know you've gone through it. I've gone through it. I'm sure you've gone through it to where spaces where we may excel, it's looked at as soft or weak, and then even sometimes then they want to apply because you write songs for women or because we like fashion and like the dress and like, oh, that's soft, you know, and in that term where now they're labeling us for the exact things that to us is always one, it's our magic, it's our strength.
Nick, it's so you say that I was shamed in medical school when I told everybody I was going to be a psychiatrist.
What?
Right? Why not a surgeon? You don't want to do ortho, break bones and fix bones. Why are you going to do something so soft like that? You're just going to talk all day, right?
100%. I could see men, I could 100% see men shaming men for going into psychology. I never thought about that until he just said that, but I 1000% could see men being like, what you want to be a psychologist for? What you want to be a psychiatrist for? You want to talk to people all day? Oh, that's a female job. Then they be the same men when they finally get ready to go see a therapist. They be like, where all the male therapists at? Women got an advantage in therapy. It's all female therapy. It's all female therapists.
Psychiatrist. What? Right? Why not a surgeon? You don't want to do ortho, break bones and fix bones. Why are you going to do something so soft like that? You're just going to talk all day, right? My mastery, my magic comes in the words and in my emotions and helping you able to manage yours. But it was a
Still
whole
saving
thing.
lives.
Right? Still saving lives in a very different way, no less important, but it was a whole thing, right?
So are we safe to say that toxic masculinity is a society issue and not
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a we thing. It's a we problem.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not a man thing. It's a we thing.
I honestly feel like
What? Hold on. What?
a society issue and not
It's a we. It's a we thing.
It's a we problem.
For sure.
Yeah.
all right.
It's not a man thing. It's a we thing.
But wait. The doctor said earlier that we got the toxic masculinity from the men at the top, and then they passed it down. He said that, but then now it's air. What the?
Honestly feel like I want to hear from some women in the room on this topic. So Michelle, you have a question, right?
I grew up in a household full of masculine toxicity, and I find myself getting into bad relationships because I don't agree with it, but for some reason I find comfort in it because that's all I know, that's all I grew up with. So I guess my question to the council would be, how do I know if a guy is showing signs of masculine toxicity or is just not into me?
I mean,
girl, these is not the men to ask. Let me just tell you, run. These are not the men to ask, girl.
To the council would be, how do I know if a guy is showing signs of masculine toxicity or is just not into me?
Them. Are you watching the show? It's them. Whatever they doing, watch them. And then if your man do the shit that they doing, he toxic.
I applaud you for even understanding that.
Right? Yeah. So, you know what I would say? I would say, Michelle, first, another round of applause because you're aware of why you're doing this. Right? That's the way. Now,
it up for Michelle.
Right? Now, we're going to take it a little bit higher. You're going to evolve the evolution, and now you're going to realize that what you are not changing, you are choosing. Right? So you're never just finding yourself in a toxic relationship. You're choosing it. Now you know why. Because it's...
Oh, the doctor victim blaming now? That's interesting. Let's go back.
Are you going to realize that what you are not changing, you are choosing, right? So you're never just finding yourself in a toxic relationship. You're choosing it. Now you know why, because it's comfort. It's the thing you know, right? But what I would share with you is just because that's all you know doesn't mean that's all there is, right?
He basically telling her choose better. Hey, you can't make this shit up. Hey, this nigga get paid to do this. Ain't no way this man get paid to give out this advice. I could do this shit.
Choosing it. Now you know why, because it's comfort. It's the thing you know, right? But what I would share with you is just because that's all you know doesn't mean that's all there is, right? So now expand your circle of female friends who are in healthy relationships. Let that become your new blueprint, your new model, and see how that feels, because it's going to feel weird when you got a guy who's not toxic and he's opening doors and he's asking you how you feel. You're like, this, what?
It's going to be boring,
right? And you're going to be bored out of your. And you're going to be bored out of your.
After.
Do you hear what they're telling her? Do you hear what they are telling her? This should be illegal. Nah, bro. This got to be illegal. This malpractice. This is crazy.
So now expand your circle of female friends who are in healthy relationships. Let that become your new blueprint, your new model, and see how that feels, because it's going to feel weird when you got a guy who's not toxic and he's opening doors and he's asking you how you feel. You're like, this, what?
It's going to be boring.
Right? And you're going to be bored.
Wow.
And you're going to be bored out of your,
Well, it was after a very toxic relationship that I had for like 2 years that I then got into a healthy relationship that I then realized, okay, I kind of am making him, I will admit, I was the toxic one because I was used to that. That's what I grew up with at home. And I'm like, why is he being so nice? And then that's where, and then that's where I kind of messed up the relationship,
Right.
because I wasn't used to that type of treatment. And then I realized, oh my God, that wasn't normal. This is normal.
Because then that brings up, and we've all dealt with this, the corny conversation.
The corny dude, right.
Like, he corny.
Right.
Because I didn't smack the shit out of you like that.
Yes.
And then therefore we put on this bravado.
Right.
And that's where the toxic masculinity comes. So it's full circle. I mean, I'm so glad you spoke about that, because that took it to the space of relationships. And I mean, even in your book, it's really like, as we discover ourselves, the self-awareness of it, I think that's the space that we got to live in and heal.
If I may, I want to add, okay, you growing up in a house full of male toxicity, right? So it's what you know, it's what you're comfortable with, it's what you're accustomed to. I equate that to a person that eats a lot of fast food, right? If I throw a piece of broccoli in front of you and all you're accustomed to is burgers, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want this fucking broccoli. I don't want that. And that's the nice guy. That's the nice guy. You're not accustomed to him. You're not used to him. Even though he's better for you, you're not accustomed to what he is. So it's about changing.
Goddess said this convo is about as deep as a kiddie pool. Yeah, I would say a puddle. What the fuck are you talking about, Neo? You know what's crazy about this? When it came time to give the woman advice, they've been taking more time giving the woman advice than they are giving each other advice. Like, what? Talk to the men's next to you, bro.
Equate that to a person that eats a lot of fast food, right? If I throw a piece of broccoli in front of you and all you're accustomed to is burgers, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want this fucking broccoli. I don't want that. And that's the nice guy. That's the nice guy. You're not accustomed to him. You're not used to him. Even though he's better for you, you're not accustomed to what he is. So it's
Are they not literally just saying the things that all the red pill men say about women right now? Is that not what they're saying? Choose better. She could have had the good guy, but she chose the bad boy. That's what they're saying right now. Am I tripping? Being in a relationship is boring. Being in a healthy relationship is boring. That's what they said. Why would I want to sign up for that? Why would you tell her that? And it's not true. It's not even boring.
It's about changing your personal mind state. That's the only way. That
Eat your broccoli, girls. What Neo's trying to say.
I mean, that's what it is.
So, I mean, to break some of those things, I feel like you said, discussions like this are so important. But
Nick, go home with them babies. They need you.
She's like, we need a little bit of guidance, and we have a lot of
Neo, go home with them babies. They need you.
Of strong voices in the room that will hopefully help us. Because after the break, we're gonna get some questions, some answers, some solutions, and some homework as we do right here on Counsel Culture.
I got a prompt coming up after this. It's gonna lead into this shit perfectly. Just so y'all know, I got it. It's already ready to go. It's right on time.
This Chipperfoot
the thing that I'm trying to understand is who thought this was a good idea? That's all I want to know. Who thought this shit was a good idea? They doing like a podcast on Prime. Come on, Prime. Y'all lucky I don't pay for this shit.
To Counsel Culture, I want to add someone to the conversation. He stars in NBC sitcom Grand Crew, a show that's breaking down stereotypes about Black masculinity. Actor, comedian, writer, and brilliant mind, Carl Tart over there in the VIP.
Thank you for having me.
Man, and Carl, I appreciate you being here, but just specifically,
y'all can't see him, but Mr. Carl Tart has on a Hotep chain. Prepare yourselves. He has on a Hotep chain.
Love your show. We love your take. It's different from what we normally see in sitcoms, but I think one of the things I've seen you guys discuss before, and even to, brothers here on the panel can definitely say we have to live by, is the fact that sometimes Black masculinity has been equated to toxic masculinity.
Absolutely.
And
all masculinity is toxic masculinity, not just Black masculinity, not just white masculinity. All masculinity is toxic masculinity, and it all functions the same. Black masculinity functions just like white masculinity, if you guys haven't been paying attention. The only difference might be who's on top, but it functions the same.
I mean, you guys do it with humor, obviously, but clearly you've experienced that.
Oh, yeah, all the time, for real. And I think what this show is providing is a new space and a new way to see Black men, and, trying to get that out there, and people that don't necessarily get their voices heard get a chance to see themselves on TV. I get feedback all the time from people messaging me or, seeing me on the street saying, man, I ain't never seen no Black dudes behave the way y'all do on TV. Yeah. And it's refreshing. Like, y'all get vulnerable with each other. Y'all are just goofy. Y'all are just normal. Either we got to be extraordinary, like exceptional, or we down in the dumps, drug dealing, criminal activity and everything like that. So this show is just kind of.
I do like the fact that it's 6 out of 7 Black men up there. I could rock with that. Don't get me wrong. I like the imagery. It looked good. I don't think white T men will be doing any better up here. They'll be flailing just as bad. But I'm still disappointed.
Representing normal Black men, just kind of being ourselves.
Right.
And I think my question for you, actually, based on that, is a lot of the feedback is very positive about the show. People talk about, like I said, how they see themselves in us, how we represent them. But then the negative feedback usually comes from a place where I definitely don't like, because a lot of it is either, oh man, these dudes is all gay. Or, oh man, these dudes is acting white.
Game Nerd said white T men would just toss in a little racism for a little razzle dazzle. A little razzle dazzle of racism.
I'm like, we're not on the show being like, my favorite, would you please pass the gray poop out? Like, I don't know, like, what does it mean? Right. What does that mean? And that feedback is usually from Black people, which hurts even more.
Well, then I guess all of us here at this table.
Guess I'm not the club. Hey, buddy. Also, but for real though, also at the same time,
that man who he tried to say he was white, that man said he was Asian a long time ago. He said close. Nick said close enough.
Using that as an insult is like, why are you using that as an insult?
Before I get bothered by an insult, I look at the insult itself. For you to say I'm acting white, for you to say I'm acting gay, that means that you're closed-minded. And why would I let your closed-mindedness affect me?
Right.
I'll let you feel how you feel.
Right. So Carl, for you, it's not.
That was not deep.
Personal, right? Your show makes them feel a certain type of way about who they are. I saw this guy being happy, joyful, doing normal everyday things, not grinding, hustling. I don't understand that, right? And so now I've got to, right? That's toxic masculinity, because now I need to dominate, control you, shame you into doing a show about hustling. And now I can feel like I belong. No, never.
I ain't gonna even hold you. I'd rather watch The Shy than watch his show. I don't even know what this man's show is about, but he got on the Hotep chain, and the name of the show is Grand Crew. Hard pass. Give me The Shy. Give me The Wire. like what? Give me The Wire, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about? I want to see Snoop.
Do that part, because it ain't about you. How they take it ain't none of your business.
And I think this is another narrative about how toxic society is. We praise the shows that are about the dark sides of our culture, whether it is the drug dealing shows or whether it is, all of these shows that, the underbelly of the Black community, where we see, and there's shows about, strip clubs and
They're always number
crack
one.
dealing,
Right.
and you know, and we love them, but
I love them shows. Hey, but because I don't care about the image. Like, well, no, that's not true. I do, but it's a tough one. It's just the extremes. It's just too extreme. But yeah, I like that shit too. I love Franklin Saint. Like, what the fuck is we talking about?
I think it gets a little dangerous when we're talking about the Black male specifically, because as I go back to toxic masculinity and Black masculinity being synonymous.
Why are you trying to separate the Black male, sir? How are Black women portrayed in the media? I would love to know. I would love to know. Why is it especially the Black? This that Black. I'm telling you, this that Black power shit. Black. It's always Black male first, especially the Black male. Why? 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 What are you talking about? How are Black women portrayed in the media? You think Black women are portrayed better than Black men are? You think they have a better image of Black women in the media? What the fuck are you talking about? There are more faces of black men there. They show more facets of Black men than they do Black women in the media. You got two types of Black women in the media. Right? You got neck rolling, eye rolling, sassy Black woman, right? Or you have Hillary Banks Black woman. That's it. That's all you got. Where's the in between? Where the regular Black women at? The women that most Black women actually are. Where's that? Where's that at? You got either you got Sexy Red or you got or you got what's her name? Saweetie. Right? You ain't no in between. Ain't nothing in between. That's all I see. Talking about it's especially dangerous for Black men. Why? Who told you that? Who told you that?
It's a little dangerous when we're talking about the Black male specifically, because as I go back to toxic masculinity and Black masculinity being.
Insecure was a great show. That was one of my favorite shows. Great show. Showed regular Black people doing regular Black people shit. Loved it. So relatable. like so relatable. Everything was relatable in that show, damn near. Loved the show. And that's why, and you know why it was so popular? Because it was not Black people being the extremes of it was regular Black people for once. Like, oh, that's interesting. Girlfriends, living single. We get one every like decade. We get one every decade. Well, shit, between girlfriends and now 20 years. So we get one every 20 years ish.
Synonymous when dealing with society, when a cop pulls you over, their mindset of a man, because it also implements fear. Right. I'm scared of this. Therefore, now I'm going to treat this individual differently than someone that I'm not fearful of. So we need to, because it also implements fear. Right. I'm scared of this.
So Black women shouldn't be afraid of the police, Nick. So Black women shouldn't be afraid of the police, Nick.
When dealing with society, when a cop pulls you over, their mindset of a man, because it also implements fear. Right. I'm scared of this. Therefore, now I'm going to treat this individual differently than someone that I'm not fearful of. So we need to expand it. And he's a threat.
That right there, that right there, he should get canceled for some shit like that. I ain't gonna even hold you. That's cancelable in my mind. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like you said,
you gotta expand everybody's frame of reference, right? That's why your show is so important. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
It's amazing, man. I mean, like, obviously we started in one space and we just unpacked it for so many other areas. Right. And I believe it's growth and evolution. I mean, even that we all sit here today and, with even Godfrey being, hyper masculine and sitting next to Dr. Dow, who is all about the spirituality and feeling. But this has never been done before, because even in that sense of
All their clothes is still packed up. All they shit still in boxes with the bubble wrap around it. They ain't unpacked. They ain't unpacked nothing. Nothing got unpacked.
Fatherhood, and when you speak to it, as much as I love my dad and his dad before, they weren't sitting around asking me, about my feelings and what it's okay to cry. But now, because I believe we're evolving and having, really good, healthy conversations because we all need to heal. We all need to go through it. And please state your name and your question for the council.
Hi, my name is Asata. My question is, my question is, I've been talking to this guy who I feel like uses.
By the way, the women that they are choosing to ask these questions are some of the most attractive women. Like these are like maybe every woman in the audience is just as attractive, but it is very obvious they are deliberately going out of their way to pick the most attractive women. Like this is toxic. This whole show is a fucking gaslight episode. This shit is crazy.
Toxic masculinity as a way to be like attractive. And how do you tell somebody that they're using like toxic masculinity without being rude?
You been dating Godfrey?
I told you, girl, be quiet. I'm getting tired.
When I work with couples, I tell them focus on what you do like, right? So if you can catch him in those little things, it is a lot easier to tell somebody what you want more of in a positive way. So if you find him being soft, vulnerable, emotional, instead of saying, man, that toxic masculinity, that's a lot, right? And that's going to make him more defensive and sometimes even more like, oh, let's go, right? That toxic.
Why do you have to mask? Why do you have to? Why are you asking the woman to do more labor? Like, what are you doing? What is going on here, man? This is crazy. This is out of hand. This is wild.
Masculinity is going to amp up. You can say, man, the other night when we were, having some pillow talk and you were like letting me in, I was so attracted to you because that's probably true, right?
Yeah.
And if you can actually help people to know what you want and why you want it, you're gonna get your needs met.
Hey, this is that man is gay too, by the way. So that's why I be saying it don't men or men or men. It don't matter. It don't matter. That's why y'all need to stop shaming gay men because gay men are also in the cult of man too. Just so y'all know. Just so, the men, cishet men, stop shaming gay men because gay men are in the cult with us. They're all in the cult with us, man. Sorry to tell you.
Don't point out the flaws, just point out the things that are the moments when they aren't showing those flaws.
It sounds like it's someone who's unsure of himself, and so he's using what he thinks is masculine as a way to be attractive, but he's uncertain and insecure. So I would tell him, here's what I want to see is I want to see you. I don't want to see the posturing. I don't want to see what you think is sexy and cool. I want to get to know you. Show me you, And if he's able to do that, then we know he's not a bad person. He's insecure and afraid.
At the end of the day, then it's a conversation about.
I like that. I like that approach better. At least he didn't. He just told her to tell him straight up. Okay, I can respect that.
Ego.
Yeah.
And as men, we do think presenting our ego is attractive. And that's why I was trying to get to like, what are some of these things? Because I know when I'm like, oh, my ego's on high today, and I've been told like, you think you cute, but you ain't that cute. you know what I mean? Like, and then it was like, oh, okay. And then I'm on high today about ego.
Yeah.
And as men, we do
you, And if he's able to do that, then we know he's not a bad person. He's insecure and afraid.
At the end of the day, then it's a conversation about ego.
Yeah.
And as men, we do think presenting our ego is attractive. And that's why I was trying to get to like, what are some of these things? Because I know when I'm like, oh, my ego's on high today, and I've been told like, you think you cute, but you ain't that cute. you know what I mean? Like, and then it was like, oh, okay. And then
the nice guy did finish last a lot of times.
But I've been both guys. I've been the nice guy and it didn't work.
And
I've been the bad boy and it didn't work. Right. But of the two, the bad boy always works a little more.
The bad boy always works a little more. I used to be the nice guy. Nah, stop that. Toxic masculinity.
And told like, you think you cute, but you ain't that cute. you know what I mean? Like, and then it was like,
Oh, okay. And then
The nice guy did finish last a lot of times.
I've been both guys. I've been the nice guy, and
Me
it
too.
didn't work.
And I
I've
stopped
been the
that.
bad boy, and it didn't work.
Right.
But of the two, the bad boy always works a little more.
The bad
So
boy
women
always
are
works.
When you're younger. Only when you're younger.
Are women attracted to toxicity?
Young
women.
Because
Oh,
you gravitate
because when
toward what smells familiar, and if you come from a household where machismo and all that is around you, you unconsciously feel safe in that, and that's
But
what
then you
gravitate
learn from
toward.
peers too, because you watch your boys. You go, man, he's an ass. So I think I'm gonna do that because high school happened to me. I was the nice guy, man. I was like, get her flowers. My mother's like, that's good. I did all that, and I got doo-dooed on.
They didn't like you, Godfrey, because they sniffed that you wasn't really a nice guy. They smelled, they spotted the love bombing from a mile away.
And I was like, that will never happen to me again. I just
Man, we gotta unpack this. I think that's happening to all. That might be the origin story of our toxic.
Now they blaming women. Listen to we just went through this whole episode for them to get to the end to blame women for they be get the fuck out of here. This is crazy.
So I think I'm gonna do that because high school happened to me. I was the nice guy, man. I was like, get her flowers. My mother's like, that's good. I did all that, and I got doo-dooed on, and I was like, that will never happen to me again. I just
man, we gotta unpack this. I think that's happening to all. That might be the origin story of our toxic masculinity.
That's what it is.
We all forever. I was the poem writing, putting flowers in the locker.
To be or not to be.
And then when I saw
Y'all are damn near 50. Godfrey, I think, is 50. Y'all talking about high school? That wound ain't healed since high school.
go for the bad boy.
right.
I was like, fuck these flowers.
Word. And it worked.
Right?
And I was like, I will never be heartbroken again. I never want to.
Nick Cannon, you didn't start getting vagina until you got on TV. That's what worked. You could have stayed the same person. You could have stayed the same person. As soon as you got on Nickelodeon, that's when you got vagina. Right?
And it hurts. And man, we can't take that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thank you for that because I think we just grew from that a little bit.
Well, I have a prediction for Neo. I think this is a Goldilocks situation. If the nice guy didn't work, but the bad guy didn't work, I think for all of us, finding that just right, where you are assertive and masculine, but also soft, that is what is going to work for you and probably for all of us.
That's a great takeaway. And some great homework for us all. But I mean,
huzzah,
John, as you're the expert with us.
No, I'm not.
But can you give us all even some to-dos and some homework to leave with?
I would say as you're going about your day, to just look inward.
Inward.
What is being activated in you, and then take ownership of that, right? So instead of judging, reacting, labeling, instead of pointing fingers, look in the mirror.
Mariah should have never gave that nigga Nick no vagina. He wouldn't have 17. I do blame Mariah for Nick Cannon being who he is today. I do. I blame her. If she never gave that man no vagina, we would not have to suffer through Nick Cannon right now. He wouldn't have none. He would have faded away into the sunset.
Yeah.
Such a needed and powerful conversation. Give yourselves a round.
It was not. It was not needed nor powerful. I promise you, Nick. Wow. All right. Yeah. Thoughts and prayers. That was crazy. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Wicked work. Nothing happened. What's happening? Damn, that was crazy, man. Damn. That's on. Hey, y'all got to think. Amazon, somebody produced that. They paid for that shit. Somebody went in there. They set up lights. They put the call out. They did. Y'all got to think. Money went into this. Never forget that. Money went into this show. Wicked work. They better not never put me on TV. I'm flipping the whole table over. I'm gonna be in there like we never would have got through. We never would have got through the episode because every time they said something, I'd have been like, "And what do you mean by that?" Define masculinity.
Nick Cannon get on my nerves the most, y'all, because Nick Cannon is the biggest example of NPD and just the typical masker. Like, Nick Cannon does not know who he is as a person, as a man. So how the heck do he, like, the NPD is on full display because he thinks he know who he is as a person, yet he keeps changing who he is. Like, you a hothead, you a funny person, oh, you this, you that. Now you're a counselor on TV. Like, these are all money grabs. Like, he's the biggest grifter. Then, like, he has MPD. Like, the fact that he thinks he's qualified to give this advice, and he made this one remark, y'all. He was like, yeah, our magic. They talk about us because our art is on display, and that's what makes us magic. Like, Nick Cannon, you're not magic. What the hell is wrong with you? You have NPD. You were on Nickelodeon when you were a kid, and you married Mariah Carey. That's the only thing magical about you.
Nick Cannon is Nick Cannon. Hey, Lennox Bodie, calm down. Nick Cannon is the boy or the person in the neighborhood that got the gaming system, right? I don't know if y'all ever experienced this, but like in the hood, like somebody will get the PlayStation, whatever, 1, 2, 3, whatever it was. They get the PlayStation, and that's the only reason why he had people over his house. Like, nobody will fuck with him if he didn't have the PlayStation. We wasn't fucking with him before. You know what I'm saying? That's how Nick Cannon is, because he got the show. He be the one that be brokering the deals with the companies. You know what I mean? Because he be kissing ass or whatever, and they like him. He a safe bet. And so, he kind of like the liaison. And then he puts people on. But like, those movies wouldn't, I mean, those like, what's like, none of those dudes on his show, none of those dudes will fuck with Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Like Chico and them, they not even, Nick and Chico not even in the same, they're not. Two totally different people. What's the dude that got the underbite? What's the dude that got the underbite that be on the show? What's his name?
I have no idea. I don't even know what show you're talking about. You talking about
on Wild 'N Out? Yeah, the dude that got the underbite. What's his name? The tall, skinny dude.
I don't know. I don't watch it like that.
The one that DC Young Fly.
Oh, DC Young Fly.
DC Young Fly, also another guy who him and Nick Cannon would never hang out in real life if Nick Cannon didn't have that show. Never. Shit is crazy.
Nick Cannon is a lame, and like he has all them kids, NPD. Like the way he thinks about himself, NPD. Like, and the fact that him and Neo said, they started off the show saying, we're all perceived to be toxic masculine men.
Nah, you toxic.
Like, wink, wink. And then the doctors didn't clock him and say, well, Nick, let's unpack why you have like 11 kids by 11 women, and you don't think that you have to be there for not one of them. Like, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Is there somebody from in the BDSM community?
Okay, coming up here acting reckless. Go. What is it? Nani Conda. Go ahead. Nani Conda, are you there?
Oh yes, I'm here. Sorry.
You're good.
I am totally on your guys' side.
We could barely hear you.
You can't hear me?
Barely hear you.
Oh, should I just?
There you go. I can hear you. I can hear you now. You're good. Osa said these fools ain't unpacked shit. They ain't unpack a damn thing. Go ahead. We listening.
I love you guys. I think you guys are so smart and so good. So like, my main issue is with Trump, but I'm also interested in the toxic masculinity.
What about Trump?
Mainly how he is. That's it.
What do you mean?
I don't believe in abortion rights. I don't believe in that.
What? What we talking about, Nani? You playing?
No, I think that women should have a right to abortion.
Yeah, but we not. How long have you been in the room?
Not that long.
Okay, yeah, we're not talking about Trump. We're talking about yeah, we just watched the whole. We just went through 34. We just suffered through 34 minutes of Nick Cannon, EO, and Godfrey. We gonna talk about that. Sorry. We talking about that. That's what we gonna talk about first. What up, Obsidian?
What's going on?
I'm chilling.
So happy Godfrey stayed his stupid ass quiet.
He was quiet, huh? He was so quiet.
He was making me mad. Like every time he even went to go open his mouth, I'm like, please don't do us like that, because all he gonna do is point at Chicago. You know that nigga from Chicago. Oh my God, I almost lost it when you got up and walked away. And that woman was like, you know what? In my very next relationship, I was bored. And I started calling my man corny. And I think that ruined it. And Nick Cannon, Goofy, ooh. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me calm down. He turned around and said, ooh, I'm so glad you said that, because that's my experience. And that's exactly how I feel. Like a woman called me corny. And that's so you got 1,800,000 baby mamas because a woman in grammar school called you corny. That's what you just said, Nick.
But he is corny. He is corny. Even with the money, he corny.
Oh yeah, money don't money don't cure corniness.
Yeah. Both can be true at the same time. He's corny and toxic.
Money, when has money ever cure corniness? I've never seen it. Money, it just exacerbates it. You just get the corniness is more opulent. Right? When you know what I mean? Like you're just more cornier than ever. Everybody sees the corny. Like it's crazy. I've never seen money actually cure corniness. Like you still corny as fuck. No doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see, I saw that when I watched it, but I wasn't, when I came back, I didn't get a chance to talk about that. Nick Cannon is corny. Hey y'all, let's like up the live though. Let's get up to 100,000 real quick. I know we was watching that shit, but let's definitely like up the live, share the live. Bang out some of these give goals, please. Support the live, bang the Cash App, all that good stuff. What up, Kay?
Listen, I just came up here to say, here's the thing. Here's the allure. Nick Cannon got a glizzy down there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He got a glizzy. Marlon Wayne got a glizzy.
Mm-hmm.
It's several of them that got a glizzy down there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the allure, because you be like, oh, they goofy, they funny, and like, oh, what's that down there? That's how they get. That's how they get.
You saying that thing? You saying it's big? That's the word on the street.
They got an anaconda.
Oh, okay. Man.
I think Nick got an anaconda.
Sweater God. They say Nick got that thing, and Marlon Wayne's got that thing. They got that thunder. Just saying, maybe that's the height. That's the height. Even though they corny, that's the height. See, Nikita said she heard it too. Listen.
Oh man.
That's the word on the curve. That's the word on the curve.
They corny and y'all horny. That shit, that's a deadly combination. Corny and horny.
Screaming. But no, in all actuality, it be the fake deepness for me. Like, they really was like, oh man, that's a revelation. Like, yeah, man. Like, and it just goes to show how men will sit in a circle jerk and really reaffirm the stupid shit that they believe.
Uh-huh.
Like, literally, if you
in real time.
Men, right, that's what I'm saying. All y'all doing is sitting around and agreeing with each other, and you're agreeing with stupid shit. Like, that was not groundbreaking. That was not life-changing. Again, like, just like the Kevin Samuels advice. Like, oh, he told men to go to the gym and wash their ass. Okay. Like, you knew that before you got on there listening to him. Like, but everybody don't know that. Everybody don't. But I'm just, it just goes to show. This is why we can't validate men feelings. This why I call men bitches. Okay, this is why. You guys will forever be a bitch to me. Speaking of bitch, I'm gonna call the police on this lady. She got an infant. She riding by in this golf cart. She hauling ass. Should I call the police, y'all?
She holding the baby?
Yeah, she holding the baby. In her lap, hauling ass in that golf cart. What that golf cart tip over?
I don't know, man. It might. That's between her and that baby, but yeah, call CPS. I don't know if that's crazy. Yeah. I don't think it's wild either way. If you don't call, I don't think it's wild. If you do call, I don't think it's wild.
I just want to point out, Kay, that this is a perfect example of my live yesterday. The homosociality was on full display, especially when they were sitting up there with the two doctors. It was before the Asian doctor came in, and they all talked about how, like, homophobic rhetoric was spread from their fathers to them, and they all had like a good kiki about it. Even the doctors. The doctors didn't stop them and say, see, now that's an example of toxic masculinity. That's misogyny. That's this. That's that. They was kikiing with them. Doctors. They went to school for this, y'all.
Wicked work.
Should have kicked that whole day. It's over.
Oh man,
for real, like they got progressively worse. Like what Lynn just said. Like how you gonna start off with yes, and it comes down, and we were programmed like this to eventually get to I don't know. Maybe we should hold a show on how us being corny niggas and being called corny people, being called corny accurately made us the bad guy. Like what? What's episode 9? Corny niggas unite over being bad. Like what's the next episode? Because he said he was gonna plan it, so now I need to know. Now I gotta go look on Prime. Which, by the way, between him and Marlon Wayans, I kind of want to cancel that Prime video. Watching Marlon Wayans stand up made me feel like a bad person. Part 2.
It's a series, Kay. There's more episodes in the series. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like 9 episodes in the series. We just watched one. That was
a series about modern dating, image of a man, fatherhood. Oh, I want to watch
9 episodes of that.
Yeah, it's How Men Love, Mental Health in Sports. I don't care about fatherhood. I watched that one. Image of a Man I didn't watch. I watched Addiction because Lamar Odom was on there, and I always laugh anytime Lamar Odom on TV. They got Howie Mandel on there though. Howie Mandel died too recently. That's crazy.
Why you laughing at
Lamar Odom just one of my. I just fuck with LO. I just like LO. I don't be laughing at Lamar. He just funny to me. I just laugh. Lamar my guy. I fucks with LO. I be rooting. Oh, how he didn't die? I thought he died. My bad. Okay, I was wrong. My fault. I thought how he passed away. I was like, this shit just came out June 5th. Damn, who passed in? Somebody passed. Maybe you know what that might have been? I think I read that on one of them fake sites. Matter of fact. Anyways. As somebody said, I did it. I didn't. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that for free. I'll be rich. Okay, but look, so this is what I was saying. So I switched the topics. Nah, Vince really funny. Vince know he funny. But Vince also is like just naturally like a funny person. Like he don't try to be funny. So I had to switch the topics because this is what I was saying before. As soon as they started giving advice to them women, right? This is why I said I was like, we're gonna talk about this. Men need to stop. Please stop giving advice to women. Like, just quit. Just cut it out. We not built for that shit, right? You don't got nothing. Men don't have nothing to offer women as far as advice goes. You ain't got nothing to offer them. You don't know enough. You don't have the bandwidth. You don't have the vernacular. You don't have the, you know what I mean? Like you don't have anything. You don't have the language. You don't have it. You don't have it. Right? So just stop. Every single time I hear men trying to give women advice, it always sounds like manipulation. It's never sound advice, right? It's never sound advice. It's always some form of manipulation. Always. What up, BBG? y'all be wondering, and go ahead.
Oh yeah, my bad. I was trying to find my mute. Yeah, you know, I missed most of the episode. I'm on the tail end. But I will say it's so ironic to me that a bunch of men who like very much are considered trash, like, I can't find a nicer way to put that. Like the things that Neo put women through, the things that Nick Cannon put women through, the things that
Didn't Neo put a woman through a windshield or a woman through a? He said he never put his hands on a woman, but I was like, wait, I heard some things about that man. I thought, am I tripping?
I mean, I don't know if he did that. I know that he for sure convinced his fiance to get her tubes tied under the, you know, guys that he didn't want no more kids and she didn't want no more kids, and then he dumped her and got with another chick and had a whole bunch of kids and then had some extra kids on her. So you know, and then just notorious cheater overall, you know. Overall, just trash human being.
Mm-hmm.
But can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think to me that's a measure of, you know, it's a great measure of his character. Same thing with Nick Cannon, wasted a whole lot of women's time. Yeah, I think that was Columbus Short that did that, but wasted a whole lot of women's time and then wasted more people's time coming online talking about how the reason why he treats women the way he does is because some girls, you know, at some point in middle school or elementary school or college or whatever, one woman mistreated them, and now all of a sudden, like, they can have the platform to be able to talk about how they're toxic now and they bad guys now because of the results of one woman. And if they had baby mamas who reflected exactly who they are, they would consider those women bitter. Like, we all know that they would consider those women bitter. They still, for a long time, his fiance, the chick that he left for the other girl that he married, was considered bitter for being upset about the fact that you with a man for years and he's playing in your face and lying in your face and you got kids with him. When women have those experiences, we don't get the benefit of being able to be like, oh, well, the reason why I treat men the way that I do is because, you know, a couple of men hurt me. And if you ask women, like, it ain't never one man. Like, most women, honestly, give men the benefit of the doubt more than once. Like, it's usually they dad did something, and then their uncle did something, and then their grandpa did something, and then they dated some dudes that wouldn't work for doggone. And yeah, it was a few good. She might have got a call.
I wanted to add to what BPG was saying, but I'll give her a minute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but women have these multiple experiences with bad dudes, and we don't get the benefit of being able to be like, oh, now I'm off men in general. And women are just now to the point where they like, you know what, maybe I just don't want to be bothered at all. But it's so ironic to me that they get on the panel and do that. But the other thing is too, I'm still reading this book, the Men Who Hate Women book, and the chapter I'm on right now talks about how these like pseudo intellectual or like sort of academic looking guys will come on these panels and have these conversations on like big platforms, and they give validity to like these red pill men's rights movements by lending their ear and saying things in a very intellectual way. Like, if you notice, he had the doctor guy on there. It was like two people who were considered doctors on the panel.
Three.
And then three. And then they always have like suits on, and you know, they look very nice and tailored, and it's a very calm conversation. But the calm conversation is red pill.
Yeah. Like what's his name? What's that guy's name? From Canada. Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
There's Jordan Peterson. They'll find a Jordan Peterson to come on. What'd you say, Kay?
But it supports the movement in the way that it supports the movement in a way that, like, when you look at it, like, if you had never heard of a red pill in your life, you probably would have listened to that conversation and been like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is kind of, pleasant. This is, okay. It seems like they're having a very cordial conversation. Like, yeah, but this literally leads to violence against women. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. The conversation that they have, in calm as it may be, absolutely leads men down that red pill rabbit hole and leads to violence against women. Like, there's no doubt about that. And it was just very interesting to me, you watching that and seeing, like, in real time that happen in reality.
And that's what I was gonna say too, BPG, because, like, I guess former me, pick me would have probably seen these men talking like, oh, they're actually doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Get real sucked in, thinking they're decent, or hearing men that speak like them, kind of like that Trip dude, until public pulled the wool off my eyes about Trip. Because I was really thinking, he's deep. He's very intuitive. But no, he's like literally giving advice that women don't need, and that can be harmful in the long run. So yeah, like, if you look at it with a different set of eyes, and you don't educate yourself, that's the danger in it, because a lot of these people come on the internet not having done any research, not having studied, and they take away these talking points and run with it, and then they start perpetuating it. So it really is a dangerous game that they're playing. But 9 episodes of that.
Yeah. Yep. There's 9 episodes of that.
I also wanted to point out the fact that, like, they all collectively agreed. Even
Trick.
What blows my mind, y'all, is that the doctors was sitting here agreeing with them, and like, this freaking, like, homosocial male cult thing is too deeply rooted. Like, first of all, they didn't, like, let's get doctors who or psychologists that specialize in, misogyny or, unpacking toxic male behavior, not just anybody who gonna sit there and agree with you, right? Because, there are psychologists, there are doctors, there are therapists who specialize in, like, men who are abusive, or men who have MPD, or, you know what I'm saying? They kind of got a specialty doctor. Come on now, all the money y'all had. But they talked about, oh yeah, when we were young, we were nice guys. And then we saw that the nice guy thing didn't work. And it's funny to me when they say, because men on TikTok say it too, being a nice man doesn't work. Being a simp or a pander or a good guy, it doesn't work. And what they mean by it doesn't work is they ain't getting smacks. But they're not being a good human being. Like, the work part is not, it doesn't work. Like, it works if you're being a good human being, if you're being genuine, but you only want it to work. It's only considered working when you're getting smacks.
But the crazy part about that is if it doesn't work, and I'm using myself as an example. So they say that the only reason why all the women are over it, this is literally, you guys have heard this. This is why all the women like you, because you a simp, you a pander, right? And then at the same time, those same men will say, oh, I used to be a simp. It doesn't work. So wait. So here's what I'm saying. So if I'm a simp and you were a simp, but it didn't work for you and it's working for me according to you, then obviously it's not me simping. That's the thing that's working. Right? Isn't that the natural conclusion? Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So you're saying I'm simping and pandering, and that's why the women like me. Okay. You used to be a simp and a panderer. Cool. I used to be like you. Okay, cool. Why would you change if it was working for you?
Because it was a game. And I think what Lynn said was super important. And it's specific to having access to women. Think about how many people we've seen have your picture up on the background, and the first thing that they say is like, it doesn't even make sense. Is he sleeping with these women? Does he have access to these women? No. So why would he do that? And like, it'd be a Freudian slip, like a mug. Like, I'm admitting to you that the reason why I say things and do things is so that I can have access to specific kinds of people to do things for me. But if like Lynn said, if your goal was to be a good person in general, then you would just focus on being a good person in general, as opposed to how do I play this game properly so that I win. They're mad because they are losing at the game, and they see somebody else who is genuine, a genuine person by all intents and purposes. And they like, oh, wait a minute, that don't work for him. No, it didn't. It never worked for him. It's not hurting him because he's actually that way. It's not. It's not hard when you're not faking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem is they're only. Which tells me that they're only nice to gain access to women. So that means when the mask falls off, they're the same guy that they're talking about when they say, "How did you not see the red flag, nigga? Because you was acting nice."
Yeah.
You was acting
How would
nice
I know?
for a whole 2 years.
How would I know?
You were acting right. You were acting nice to get access. Once you got my body, slowly that mask started to come off. Okay, once the baby came, all that patience and care and affection that you were showing me went out the window, because now you feel like the baby is getting more attention. So it's nice, quote, nice guys like that. Like, yep, Black Beauty performative, because you are performing because you think that this is what women want, and then when you don't get the reaction that you wanted to get based on what you thought you were doing, like now you mad. Now you the incel. Now you the red pill around here talking about, oh, women don't want no nice guys. They don't want no good man, and they don't want no man that pay bills. Like, no, sir. We don't want no fucking predator.
That's facts. I just want to shout out Taz, man. I appreciate that. He said he dropped something in the bucket, said for a future drop. No problem. I got you locked in, brother. You say the word.
I love that preemptive drop money.
Yeah,
yes.
he put some preemptive drop money in the bucket, said, hey, this going towards whoever. I said, all right, I got you. That's exactly what it is, man. The amount of men that don't understand that. I think what it is they just really be mad that women be clocking they bullshit, and they can't believe that y'all can see who they are. You know what I mean? Like that's what I be getting from it. Like I'm like, so y'all didn't. So basically they're like, oh, you guys don't like me when I act fake. You know what I'm saying? Like when I act fake, y'all see that I'm being fake and y'all don't like me. How dare you not like me when y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you not like me when I'm acting fake? Like, that's what it is. I'm acting nice. I'm not actually nice. I'm not actually a good person. I don't actually care about, I don't actually do these things. I'm doing them, like Kay said, to gain access to you. Kay clocks it and goes, this doesn't feel genuine. This doesn't feel like this is this person's authentic self. Then the men get mad and want to, you know what I'm saying? And then look at another man instead of looking at themselves and being like, oh, well, you know, maybe it's not them, it's me. They go, oh no, public. See, he's a simp. Like, or whoever man in their neighborhood, whoever it is, right? And it's like, no, I'm not. Like me, I've never had to simp to women to get women. So that's why it's always so funny to me personally, because I'm like, what gives you guys that impression that I would have to do that to gain access to women? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like looks or nothing. I'm just saying like personality wise. Like you could tell you can listen to Nick Cannon. You like, yeah, Nick had to do that shit. Neo had to do that shit. No doubt about it. Ty, you got to do that type of shit. Yeah, you a corny nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like not all of us was corny though. Not all of us weren't sure of ourselves, right? Not all of us weren't confident. A lot of us were confident. A lot of us, like I told y'all yesterday, a lot of us mamas was telling us we was handsome and we believed it. A lot of us mamas and parents was telling us we're smart and we're resilient and we can do whatever we want to do, and we bought into that shit. I bought into that shit. I don't know about y'all. I believed it. Thank goodness I did. I bought into it though, early. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to tell y'all if y'all went through life lacking confidence, and so you felt like you had to lie and mask and manipulate to get a woman. That's on you.
Hop down public. But then it's also they'll blame the woman and saying that she's being overly critical or that she's not giving him a chance to grow. Again, when that mask starts to fall off, or when he's not showing up how she anticipated he would show up based on the performance he gave. So it's a double-edged sword. Then it's like, oh, you blaming me for what the last guy did to you. Oh, because your ex used to lie to you. You think I'm lying to you. Like, nigga, you performing.
Mm-hmm.
You are performing. And now that I'm seeing through the performance, I'm wrong or I'm being overly critical of you and I'm not giving you a chance. And this is how y'all push good men away.
Tripping.
Okay, I think we need to start.
Hold on. Let me respond to this message. Rose said, "Son husbands," referring to me making that statement about my mother. I want to be very clear. My mom had a real boyfriend in the house. She didn't need me to be her son husband. She had like a real boyfriend, even though good or bad, she had a man. It wasn't inappropriate. She just told me the stuff that I tell my sons. Some of y'all wasn't raised by y'all parents. Some of y'all parents abandoned y'all and neglected y'all. And they never told y'all was pretty, and never told y'all was nice and y'all was smart and you can accomplish things or whatever. And that's between you and your parents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's called affirmations. And we give our sons affirmations every day. Like literally, it's a daily thing. And my mom gave me affirmations a lot. That didn't make me her fucking son husband. The fuck is wrong with you? Y'all be telling on yourselves with y'all comments. Like I don't know if I be clocking all that little shit. Like y'all be really telling on yourselves. So y'all parents never told y'all that you were smart? Your parents never told you were resilient? Your parents never told you was pretty or handsome or attractive? Your parents never told you were intelligent? They never told you that. Just say that. Just say, damn, my mama never told me I was just say that. God damn.
That was literally just about and me and my mama laugh at it now. The one thing that my daddy gave me was confidence. Like, and he did a whole lot. But the one thing that he gave me absolutely was confidence. And he would tell people on a consistent basis, like when I would say things, and they would seem kind of out of order, but because I was small, but it was the truth. Like I would say whatever came up in my head, and whether it was, hurtful or not, or whether it was blunt or not, like I would say whatever came up in my head, and people would be like, "Oh no, you can't say that because you're a young woman. You can't say that because it is." And my daddy would be like, "No, don't check her. Don't tell her what she can and can't say. She can say whatever she want to say. Now she can't be mean," which I was for a long time anyway. But he was like, "She can't be mean, but you're not gonna tell her she can't say what she want to say. That's her personality. That's how she's gonna be my free-spirited child, my outspoken child." And I'm quite literally out of my siblings for sure. I'm gonna say whatever I gotta say whenever I gotta say it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that either. That's ain't nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, Lynn. My bad. I interrupted you before.
Oh no, you good. I got this stuff written down. I told you I was taking notes. But I just wanted to point out the fact, like you like on your topic, the biggest red flag to me, and the biggest thing as women, because I'm a woman, so I'm gonna give y'all some womenly dating advice. Get ready to listen when men start to say things like, because Neo was trying to overemphasize the fact that he was raised by women.
Yeah.
Then freaking Nick Cannon tried to join in, and I was raised by women.
The doctor said it too. The doctor said it too, Lynn. He said he was raised by women too.
Like when a man tries to overemphasize how he like his proximity to women, to me, I'm automatically on high alert because it's like, why are you trying to lower my defenses? You like, I'm here for you. I can empathize with you. I can sympathize with you because I was raised by women. I know women. Get ready to listen to whatever bullshit I'm about to tell you because I was raised by a large group of women. I'm like, sir, why are you trying to lower my defenses? So, like, immediately when I start dating men, I start looking for signs that I'm trying to lower my defenses because why are you trying to lower my defenses so bad? Like, you trying to make your bullshit easily digestible, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, when they start saying, "Oh, we about to hear from the women," and then the women start asking them dating advice questions, I'm like, why y'all not trying to hear from the women what toxic masculinity looks like to them? Y'all just want y'all ego stroked by them asking y'all for dating advice. Like, that's what you're doing right now. It's not even relevant to the conversation.
Rose said one of my first questions while dating is, did you have a single mother? Why? Why would that be one of your first questions? Y'all got to get off. Hey, y'all got to get offline. You got to go off. You got to log off. You got to go somewhere and clock in real life on some real shit. That's crazy. You got to go. You must get off of the applications for like a period of time and let your brain heal up, because that's dumb. Only online does that question make sense. If a woman asks me that question like early on, like, and just in general, we're just having a conversation or whatever, we start getting into it. But like, if you like actually ask me that question as like a point of reference or something like that, like you care about that answer, yeah, instantly, no more dates. I'm not going to end that date, but yeah, no more dates. There's no way to recover from that one. That's just,
I think that's not what I was saying. I'm not saying like, oh, be extra critical of a man raised by his mom. Mm-hmm. I'm saying be extra critical of language. Like, also,
Lynn, also speaking on that, the other one is, I got 3 daughters. Like, so nigga.
Bingo. Right. Like be extra critical of the language that people use, because like men just be thinking that like language is just whatever. But language is important, because what you say is how I'm clocking your bullshit. Like those Freudian slips, oh baby, that gives me all the information I need to know. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God.
The questions be the answers. That be for me, the questions be the answers. You ain't got to tell me shit. I'll be listening to the questions like, oh, that's what you care about. Interesting. Cool. Yeah, I'll be hearing all of that type of shit. Like I said, a woman asked me on a date, were you raised by a single mother? I mean, it's almost impossible though for her to she would have to have a great comeback, a great reason for why. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have to be something like, oh yeah, I found a lot of men who were raised by mothers, they don't have fathers, they don't have like a lot of toxic masculinity, like something like that. Like, oh, okay, yeah. It better be followed with a compliment or something like that. But if you come back with like some, I was just asking, or like it's vague, nah, I'm out.
Somebody asked me yesterday I was on a date yesterday, and the dude asked me, am I a feminist? My ears perked up so bad, and I was like, oh, get ready for the misogyny in my head. And I was like, why didn't you ask? But I'm on a different type of time with him. I'm not looking to marry the dude.
What was his answer?
He was just like, oh, because, typical red pill bullshit.
Okay.
The script. It was the script. Oh, because, like women be trying to like overpower men in a relationship and blah, 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 blah. And,
bring them on the live.
Oh, absolutely not.
Bring them on the live. Send them to live. Tell them jump in the panel. I'll bring them up. I want to talk to them.
No, absolutely not.
Come on.
I can't even know. I have to tell the cousins this morning, like, if y'all see me out acting like a pick-me, you did not see me out.
What?
You have to understand, Pub, that you have to understand the name of the game that I'm doing right now.
What?
I get at you on the backside.
All right, I'm like, dude, this sounded concerned. This sound crazy. Okay.
Do not be concerned.
All right.
Do not be concerned.
I ain't. You like it. I love it. Let me read this. Let me read these super chats. Osa said, imagine getting dating advice from men who failed at dating. Be for real. They'll tell you what not to do, Osa. Okay?
Exactly, y'all. In the comments, some of y'all get it. Sprinkle.
Not for money. Not a pick me for money. A pick me for a rich man is still a pick me. That's crazy. Hold on. Let me. I got one more. Miss True Teller said, these men in the comments don't have real opportunities with women. That's why they use red pill talking points. They don't have any personal experiences themselves. That's fact. Go ahead, Mia.
I was gonna piggyback on what you were saying about the woman asking about like you were raised by a single mother, because like even with what we just watched, we know that she would have to be like, oh, because if you were raised by a mother, then I can assume that you're less toxic, right?
Yeah.
Because we know that the fathers only contribute to the toxic masculinity based on what the men said. They said it themselves that their dads were the ones who projected or perpetuated this negative toxic masculinity onto them.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be mindful. But back to what Lynn was saying earlier about when men start talking about them being raised by women, and then you were saying with the three daughters, all of that is what was that word? Vanity gave us a word yesterday. It was pimparchy. Okay. They be trying to use the women of their lives as a way to pull us in the same way that they would do with their top recruiter if they were a pimp.
The same way they do it with me on the app.
Yeah.
They come into space and they say what's up to me, and they, you know what I mean? I'll be laughing at that shit. And then but when they get on other people's panels, they be talking cash money shit about me, but they'll do it so that everybody can see and be like, oh, he's okay. Like, it's weird. I'm like, y'all are weird.
It just happened with Mr. High Value. Like, he did all that placating or whatever you want to call it, and then he started his own live with that whining and crying because he wanted to be able to be in your space. Like, they really be trying to do the pimp talk. So yeah, like, I definitely think that they try their hardest to come in with this softness to try to get you in. And what I've heard a lot of guys say when they say, oh, I was raised around women, I understand how women think. It be that Jody thing. I always refer to Baby Boy because I can't get, it's so many gems in Baby Boy.
It is.
When Jody was talking to his mama and Monique, that's how they be acting. Like, they be acting like, oh, I done sat at the table with my mom and her friend, and now I know the woes of a woman, or now I know how to woo a woman. No, you just trying to pimp. You just trying to be a pimp. And y'all mad because we see through it. It ain't enough women that you can produce that will make me fall for your bullshit. I see through it, and a lot of women see through it, and that's why they be mad.
That's facts. Let me read this super chat real quick. You good? Saw said, wives, daughters, and women in men's lives are used as shields to humanize them and to appear safe, trustworthy, and responsible. Absolutely, Salt. I'm gonna read that again. That was a good one. Wives, daughters, and women in men's lives are used as shields to humanize them and to appear safe, trustworthy, and responsible. That's a fact. That's a fucking fact. Go ahead, BBG.
And they do use their daughters, their mothers as sort of a gateway into some of what women like, some of what women feel. And the only thing and Baby Boy is a great reference, because the only thing that helped Jody do was to sell women products that they didn't need.
$40.
Right. he figured out that game in that sense. But the truth of the matter was, like, he didn't know anything about his mom. He didn't even notice. The most poignant line in the movie is "Mama gotta have a life too," and nothing in his mind processed that whole time that his mom was actually lonely. He was out running the streets. He was raised by a single mom. Didn't want to actually spend time with her. You don't see moments in Baby Boy until literally the end, where he comes back after he done, almost had an unaliving experience, where he's actually just spending quality time with his mom and having a genuine relationship with her. He don't know that lady. Them dudes don't even, they will use their moms as a place card for, like, oh yeah, I know women. And then if you ask them her favorite color, you be like, well, I mean, I remember, she used to like purple, but I don't know. What kind of books do she like to read? What's her shows? What do her friends do? They don't know any of those things because they're not invested in knowing their mom as a person. They invested in the service that their moms give them. Because soon as you ask what your mom do for you, immediately, my mom cook a bad casserole. My mom, her mac and cheese throw down. My mom, whenever, I would come home from school, my room would automatically be clean. They see them as a service to them, but not actually people. So they can collect more service members.
And trauma dump, because remember BPG, she was trying to garden and live her best life. and he in the garden complaining to her,
Teddy,
like,
get down.
draining her energy.
She had her chair, her wine, her beautiful, and then just mess up her garden. Like, no, Ninja, you don't even help in this garden. You don't put not a nair seed down. The one thing I will say, Ving Rhames in that movie was the one thing I did notice about him, even though, like, I love Ving Rhames, I don't care. But the fact he actually helped her in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And Jody couldn't handle, he was like, why are you helping her? And it was a jealousy, but at the same time, I would never do anything for my mom like that. And it's that thing we see where a lot of people, especially like I've noticed a lot of Black men, don't believe Black women should be treated well.
That's fact.
And that we should only struggle. We should only just be surviving. How dare we have a happy place? How dare we be treated like humans? And no, because if she can't stay with me when I'm in the dirt and doing and having horrible stuff happen to me, then she don't get to glow up with me. It's like, no.
But then they leave them anyway. They end up they leave the women that help them get there, and they don't, and then they resent the women that get with them after they after they had to blow up, right? So it's like you just didn't like either way, man. You was gonna be fucked. Like that's the thing. Y'all don't want to get a woman, and well, they do want a woman to help them build. Don't get me wrong, they want that, but then at the same time, they don't want to pay give any reverence or anything like that, right? Like it's like, oh, I did this, I built my empire, I like Game Bread. They all end up talking like Game Bread at some point, like I built this.
Or Bob Johnson. You want to know, like, because Sheila Johnson, she's like near where I'm from, okay? Like that's where her hotel is, the 5-star resort she created.
Mm-hmm.
Bob would still never give Sheila the credit that if she hadn't been his wife,
mm-hmm.
she's the one who introduced him to everybody who helped him create BET. It was her family's connections that got him the seed money.
Mm-hmm.
It was her interactions. It was her ability to schmooze with people that got him everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when they divorced, he acted like she didn't do ish. Like she was just some stay-at-home wife doing nothing. And she was like, what are you talking about? And basically the reason I think she really started the Salamander was to show everybody that he ain't done shit since he sold BET. But she's able to create more and more businesses, help out all these upcoming Black chefs, be in one of the most elitist and racist locations in the country, especially in Virginia, and they all still sing her praises because of what she created. And he's still you will never see people give her the level of credit she deserves for how she's the reason Bob Johnson was ever anybody.
Yeah.
And he cheated on her the minute that he glowed up because he ain't have shit when she got him.
Yeah, they always think they could get a better. That's the paradox of how men see women, right? So in one breath, they hate gold diggers, right? But then at the same time, they also, the woman that they're with, also they think when they actually get to the place that they wanted to get to, they realize whatever you want to say, but they covet other women, right? For other things, whether it be just the sheer number of women or because this woman is more attractive. You know what I'm saying? And so they can get a different caliber of woman in their mind. So they end up resenting the woman that they're with, right? Because they're like, oh, well, now that I have money, now I have access to a whole new crop of women that I never had access to. So let me go over here and see what that's about, right? While simultaneously resenting gold digging women, while also at the same time revering the women who help men build, right? Because those are the women. Women don't want to build with a man. Like, you see what I'm saying? But it's just like a circular thing. It's like, okay, you got the woman that helped you build. Okay, cool. Check. She helps you build. Check. You get to where you want to get to. Check. You build your empire. Check. As soon as you build your empire, now you have access to a group of women who you never had access to, and you indulge. Check. disrespecting the woman that helped you build. Check. Leave, you know what I mean? Like, and then get mad when she takes half your money or whatever the case may be. Like, it's just a wild, like, it's crazy. And then, you know, Rick Ross says you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, and every man repeats that part. And I'm like, yeah, the reason why Vanessa wasn't in the gym with Kobe is because she was at home taking care of their kids. That's why she wasn't with him shooting in the gym. Kobe knew that, though, by the way.
And but they don't. But like you said, they resent the woman who built with them. They do not respect the woman who built with them because they think, like, once they get to a certain level, they feel like the quality of women would have never been in the slums with them or in a gutter with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of woman that they always have wanted. The reason why they're mad with gold diggers is because they don't be having the gold. And you hear that in all kind of situations. They swear they don't like 304s or S-word. But the minute you start challenging or you start bringing up that they're incels or they're lonely, they again say, oh, well, we could get any woman if we got $40. But wait, I thought y'all didn't like that. So which one is it? They always talk in circular. And they always speak in circular conversations or have these circular conversations, I should say, because they do not have an identity.
Let me read this comment. Racked D, I don't know. He said, do Asian women, Caucasian women, Indian women experience the same thing? Yeah. Yeah. You have to think about it logically. What is different about the nature of men? Men don't cheat on women. Only black men cheat on women. I wasn't even talking about black men specifically. I know I'm a black man. I know this is going to be hard for some of y'all to understand. I'm a black man. I pretty much 90% of my references will be black culture because I'm fucking black. Like, and I'm like blackity, like I'm black. Like I'm a black culture connoisseur, right? Of the highest order. So I will say a lot of black references, no doubt about it. But that don't mean that I think that that doesn't mean that I don't understand that these problems aren't exclusive to the black community. I'm just giving you examples because these are the examples that I have at my disposal. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, white men do this, Asian men do this, Indian, I don't give a fuck. Men do this all around the world, every single culture. Doesn't matter. Every man, every group of men, not literally every man, but every group of men, if they were less than at one point in time and then they grow into something else, they will cheat. They will leave the woman behind. They will get a more attractive woman. They will get a younger woman. Like, happens all the time. You think only black men are obsessed with youth and beauty? You think only black men are obsessed with youth and beauty? And they connect the two. They correlate the two, right? They literally say that youth equals beauty, which is weird. Because if that's the case, then 7-year-old girls are the most beautiful women on the planet, according to these men, right? If youth equals, listen to what this is why I be checking these dudes anytime they be on that like Forever 21 shit. Like, oh yeah, there's just something about a 20-year-old because youth is beauty. I'm like, okay, then toddlers, they're the most beautiful. Like, is that what you're telling me? Then they try to, oh no. A woman at the age, no, shut up. It's a status symbol. That's all it is. That's all y'all care about. It's a status symbol. It's a status symbol for you. Just say that. Stop trying to act like 35-year-old women aren't as attractive as 25-year-old women. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. Right? I would say for me, because I don't have an appetite for young women, I like the way 35-year-old women look more than 25-year-old women. 25-year-old women look like little girls to me. They look like teenagers to me. Often. I'm not saying like sometimes you don't find a couple of them that look, whatever, but most of the time you got to fool me with your age. You got to, I find her like, damn, she only 25. I thought she was 30. Thought she was 32. You know what I'm saying? But like usually if I could clock that you in your 20s, you automatically don't look I'm like, yeah, you look like a little girl. And that's cool. That's no knock on the 20-some-year-olds. Keep doing your thing, glow. It ain't no knock. But I'm 42 fucking years old. What do I look like fishing around for 22-year-old women? Like, that's not my thing. They can't even walk in high heels yet. You know what I'm saying? They look like newborn giraffes when they put on high heels. And I ain't talking about I'm talking about real high heels. Watch a 20-year-old woman walk in high heels. Their calves ain't strong enough yet. They core be off. They ain't got their cripping together. 20-year-old women in high heels be looking like newborn baby giraffes, fresh off the giraffe pussy. Be just wobbling and shit.
New little girls, the new young 20-year-olds, they don't even be wearing heels to the club. They ain't wearing stilettos. They in their little sneaks looking cute or flat shoes. And I was like, wow.
Good for them. Good for them. I ain't got no knock on it.
Like, you don't have the leg strength. You can't kick. You don't have the.
You don't know how to run in your high heels yet. You don't know how to.
You can't kick somebody in the face with them.
Yeah, you don't know how to run.
How to drop it like that is different.
Y'all, they in a whole different. I done seen it my whole life. Like, hey, this shit don't look right. I don't like it. That's me personally though. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of men do, especially outside of the black community. Honestly, when it comes to this, they love that younger the better. I'm not saying a lot of black men don't rock out like that, but that's not. I won't say it's as prevalent. It's definitely most men probably still are like that, but it ain't like obsessed with youth. Like black men aren't obsessed with youth like the way white T men are, or the way Asian men are. Asian men, white T men, obsessed with youth. Black American men, they like it for sure, but it ain't. It's like not as bad. But when you get a wife and you've been with her for 20 or 30 years and she done had 2 or 3 or 4 kids and she's, you know what I'm saying, and she is, 50 years old or whatever, 55 years old, a lot of those men be trading in those wives for younger women often.
It's because it's not only for them it's a status symbol on top of everything else, but the other aspect of it is that they view women, like the women they acquire, as a reflection of their age.
Yes.
Like they think that they look young because they're with a younger girl.
Whole time they looking like an old nigga with a young girl.
And they just look creepy. and often they're not getting like the best looking girls either. So it's like, you left your wife for that?
Well, she just younger though, so she looks better than him.
Exactly.
I think it's the obsession with trying to appear bigger, like more strong. Because like white men be having this obsession with Asian women because they're so small. And when I talk to Asian men about like because like I have very strong looking legs. Like you can see the muscles in my legs. Okay. You can see like the muscles in my back. You can see them in my arm. So like my Asian coworker, and I hear this a lot from Asian men when they talk about me, they be like, "Oh, you look so strong. Like you look."
They don't like that shit.
Like, I don't like it. Yeah, and
they don't like that shit.
What you want me to look like, a 12-year-old? Like,
yeah, they like that shit.
Yeah,
that's the shit they own.
And it's funny because when I hear black men or like some like bigger white, like more muscular white T men, like white T men who confident, they be like, that shit is sexy. Like you got legs, them legs big, them legs strong. Like look at your back, I can see the muscles. Like I love it. But I think it's a like perceived dominance thing. Like you think that I'm about to like choke you out with my legs or like.
Hey, a lot of the gym bros, they low key be fetishizing like the big girls. Like I done seen that. I done seen that combination often. The gym bros be having they girls don't be in the gym and they be loving them. They be loving them girls down. I done seen it before. See, Mia, don't do that.
You're soft. Damn it, all that hard muscle, that ain't comfortable.
You don't want muscle on muscle.
Lay on something, yeah, they want to lay on something soft and comfortable that feels safe. It feels warm. You don't want to lay on all that hard shit. Ugh.
They don't like skinny. They don't like skinny, and they don't like muscle. They like them little. They like something with some little meat to it. I respect it.
What did I do? What did I say?
You know what you said. I ain't gonna even say it. You know what you said.
But it's true though. I mean, I think that I think a lot of these men. Wait, what?
Somebody, wait, what? Japan has vending machines with little girls' panties. They are a mess. Wow.
Yeah, no, they have a really sick culture associated with schmedophilia. Like, it's not a joke.
Wow.
It's really creepy. And they, like, the reason they fetishize, it's almost like they said that the fetishization of little girls got worse after World War II, after they lost the war. So think about what happened during World War II in Japan. And then you had a whole group of men who'd been wiped out and then emasculated, quote unquote, according to them, right? So the easiest way to feel like you're back in power is to have control over something smaller, littler, that makes you feel bigger. and that you can actually do something and you can dominate them. That's why they don't like women who have muscles. That's why you often see certain men, especially if they've been like invaded by another force for like multiple times. And also they looked at it as being the older women had been like, I guess, tarnished by white tea men and black men who were stationed over there. So they do that same type of thing of, oh, she's a little girl. She doesn't know of our humiliation 70 years ago. I must get those girls. Like that's it. That's what it always comes down to, in my opinion. It's like a power play, because in every other aspect of their lives, they don't have power. If you look at like Japanese specifically, like the men work like 20 hours a day, and their wives control all the finances. But when they get with like some little girl, basically, which is what they're looking at, those girls don't have control over their finances the way that the older wives do. Like, because now I'm in power. Yeah. No, Ninja, your wife gonna call back that purse and she gonna be like, where my money at? And go back to work. I don't want to see you. Like, it's really crazy.
Go ahead, Mia. Hey, go ahead, Mia.
I mean, that was a lot. That kind of triggered me a little bit. That was just crazy. But yeah, it's definitely dominant that they be wanting, because when men be talking about these younger women, we all now know that the older a woman is, the better it is. I'm not trying to be vulgar. The better connected she is with her body and all those things. So it just leads me to believe that men do not care. Like, we already know this, but men literally do not care about the possibility of really having an experience with the woman, because it is all about them dominating. So they do not care if it's ready. They do not care if it's anything, if it's an actual good time for both of them. And I think that's why that is another thing that's attracting them to younger girls, is that they get to dominate and it gets to be this just power. And I think that's what makes it really, really sick. And when we think about what KGR was just saying, it's like, a lot of these men are just really, really sick in the head. And I guess it is the way they're conditioned. But it's like, really? Like, I don't know. I'm just disturbed. They're just disturbed me.
Hey, I gotta tell y'all something from the bottom of my heart. I gotta go. I gotta go make my baby some food. Even though he already ate breakfast and lunch, he said he want to eat again. So, and it's just me here. I'm a single dad today. I got to go through what all the single dads go through. This shit ain't fun.
Yeah, but now you see, and all these women be complaining about being single. See, now your kid's gonna turn out better because he got a single father in the home.
I got to be a single daddy today, man.
Women don't be parenting.
Thanks for letting me in.
No problem, y'all. I'll be back though. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna be back a little bit later. But I got to go be a single daddy, man. It don't feel right. I don't know how y'all do it. Shout out to the single parents, man. This shit crazy. These little niggas always want something. Always. I'll be back though. I'm gonna spin the block. I'm gonna run the prom back. And I forgot I was supposed to put somebody on the Summer Jam screen. So we gonna do that again. I gotta put somebody on the Summer Jam screen. And yeah, we're gonna spin a block on the topic. What's up, Lennox Bodie?